Soul Society Ichigo is a monster. You see, I'm currently on somewhat of a Bleach rewatch because I want to prepare for the anime as well as give you guys in-depth reviews for canon Bleach episodes. During my rewatch of the Soul Society arc, I have fallen back in love with Soul Society Ichigo, and it made me want to make a video specifically dedicated to him because Ichigo in the Soul Society arc is undoubtedly one of the most likable main characters in shonen, and it is one of the best examples of a meteoric rise to popularity within the shonen story. In this video, I want to share with you exactly why Soul Society Ichigo is so special, and I hope you come to appreciate this perspective as well. I'm going to approach Ichigo from a very unique perspective, one I haven't tried before. So, I'm a big sports guy, and for whatever reason, as I was rewatching this arc, I observed the arc from a sports perspective. Allow me to explain. So, typically, in the NBA or whatever sports you're watching, general managers can draft players coming out of college into their team. And the fun part about that stuff is that if you pick the right player with the right potential, you could groom him into the ultimate weapon. In a way, I look at Rukia giving Ichigo her powers as the drafting process. Rukia's selection of Ichigo makes him a rookie Soul Reaper, and all the major events that happen till the end of the Soul Society arc happen within a very short time. In the same way a rookie breaking into the league has to be ingrained into the way the league functions, in his rookie year, Ichigo goes up against many obstacles that should be way beyond his pay grade. One of the biggest reasons why Soul Society Ichigo is so impactful is the odds he's up against. If you've seen Bleach, you know that Ichigo storming into an unknown world and taking on their advanced military in an attempt to save one girl is not only extremely difficult, it's borderline insane. It's actually crazy when you stop and think about it. He, along with 4 other allies, enter a world they know nothing about to take on characters centuries old with no guarantee of success. It's maddening, and it's because the odds stacked against him are so high that we as audiences resonate with him, because we're rooting for the underdog. We know it's hard, and we want him to win. But where are we going? What are we going to do? Who are the allies and who are the enemies? What are their abilities and what are they like? There is so much information that Ichigo does not know. And I wouldn't argue against anyone who cited this as a negative for Ichigo, just charging into the jaws of the enemy. But in the same way it seems insane, it makes the triumph that much sweeter. This is an underrated reason for Ichigo's awesomeness in this arc. Now, there are many reasons why we as anime fans love disrespectful characters. It's great, they're just savages, and they make for awesome moments. We were really lucky, because Soul Society is in that sweet spot where Ichigo's naivety allows him to be extremely disrespectful towards other fighters. He loses this disrespectful attitude as Bleach goes on because you can't be that cocky fighting against some of the most powerful beings in the world. Ichigo learns really quickly to keep the showboating to a minimum, but in the Soul Society arc, he's all the way with it. I just want to share some of his disrespectful moments in this arc with you. Of course, this is my idea of disrespectful, so if it doesn't match up directly with yours, I totally understand. The first one, Ichigo versus Jidanbo. He destroys both of Jidanbo's axes. He then attacks Ginichimaru and calls him a stupid freaking ass clown.
You want to tell me just what the hell you think you're doing? What's the big idea showing up now and trying to butt in? You stupid friggin' ass clown.
Ginichimaru, a captain, and Ichimaru himself is like, oh, you're not scared of me? And Ichigo's response, hell no, I ain't scared.
You're sure a funny kid, and you're not scared of me?
Hell no.
When he meets Ikaku and Ganju runs away, Ichigo stays to fight.
If your power really is greater than mine, it'd be useless to run. You'd catch me for sure. But if on the other hand my power is greater, then I'll just defeat you and be on my way. At least that's the way I see it.
Against Renji, before they clash, he tells Renji that there's a mountain of payback he's gonna extract from him. One of the best lines in the entire arc.
Oh, you'll be gone and forgotten soon enough. But first I've got a whole mountain of payback I'm gonna extract from you. Renji Abarai.
I could go on, but there's so many. Facing off against Byakuya on Repentance Cell Bridge, telling Yoruichi that if the execution has been moved to tomorrow, then the only option is to finish training today. Telling Rukia to shut up and watch as he destroyed the Sogoku scaffold. Asking Byakuya to use his Bankai on him.
Attack with your Bankai now! I'm gonna destroy you completely this time!
And a miracle only happens once moment with Byakuya, along with everything else I missed. It's just great, and it adds to the reasons we love Soul Society Ichigo so much. There was nothing like him at this point in time in anime. Resilience and stamina within this context refers to the ability of the person in question to press on from battle to battle, with every step along the way being a life or death experience. A good example of this is Luffy from Impel down to Marineford. The dude started from the top, went all the way through all levels to the very bottom, to go back to the top, losing many battles along the way, damn near dying multiple times, and then from there, without ample time to fully recover, he goes to Marineford to fight in a war. I know he had a lot of help, healing, and steroids to assist him, and I know it cost him many years of his life, but it's very easy to cheer on a character when they are trying so damn hard. Ichigo does this in the Soul Society arc. He fights against Jidambo and low-diffs him, straight into a clash with Gin Ichimaru, who pushes Ichigo and the gang out into the Rukon district. By this point, Ichigo isn't really damaged all that much, although Gin's attack does do a number on him. He fully recovers and they enter Soul Society and he fights Ikkaku Madarame. He's wounded in this fight, and after defeating Ikkaku, he uses Ikkaku's healing ointment to do the little he can, but as he's leaving, he has bandages on his body already. Without fully getting back to 100%, he fights against many Soul Reapers until he meets Renji, and here, Renji inflicts some serious wounds to Ichigo. The 2 slashes on each shoulder were especially gruesome to watch, and Ichigo luckily has Hanataro, who heals him as best he can, but he's still not back to 100%. This isn't Orihime's healing, this is different, but they gotta keep moving. Kenpachi also does a number in Ichigo, cutting him straight through the chest, and the final clash they had really injured Ichigo, causing him to collapse. Yoruichi saves him and nurses him back to consciousness, but he's bandaged up everywhere. Even with his injuries, he rushes to Repentant Cell Bridge and fights Byakuya, before Yoruichi knocks him out and retreats. While Bankai training, Old Man Zangetsu isn't holding back. He cuts Ichigo multiple times, and even though they have the healing water springs, the damage Ichigo is taking is just piling up as we go. Time was so little, and his damage was so great, that when he actually gets to Sogoku Hill, in one of the most iconic sequences in anime, Ichigo is bandaged all over. His neck, his arms, and his chest. He's obviously not 100%, but he has no choice. He has to keep fighting. The battle with Byakuya deals tremendous damage to Ichigo. He takes a Byakudai to the chest and a sword stab to the foot. But after fighting Byakuya, he still comes back to clash with Aizen, who almost snaps him completely in two. The dude is a monster, and it's even crazier when you realize that he's a rookie. The man had to go from one battle to the death to another battle to the death until yet another with no recuperation time. Every step was a fight for his life, and he kept moving forward. He kept fighting. He kept swinging. And we as viewers, we love that. It's engaging. It's inspiring. It's captivating. Soul Society Ichigo is a resilient monster. The final aspect of Soul Society Ichigo I want to highlight is the wins and losses record. Some wins mean more than others, and some losses aren't as bad as others. What do I mean? Because characters of varying strengths exist, who you lose to, if you lose at all, matters. For example, there is no one, and I mean no one, who should fault any character ever in Bleach who lost to Aizen. If you notice, the anime community tends to keep a close eye on who's getting their asses kicked in Bleach. But when you lose to Aizen, we're all like, yeah, it's Aizen, you were never gonna win that one. All this is to say, context matters. So, Ichigo versus Jidambo? Win. Ichigo versus Ichimaru? Inconclusive. Ichigo versus Ikkaku? Win. Ichigo versus Renji? Win. Ichigo versus Kenpachi? I want to say it's a win, but it's a draw, but Kenpachi did say you won, so you know what, I'm going to give him a win. Ichigo versus Kenpachi is a win. Ichigo vs. Lieutenants Isane, Omaida, and Shojiro, win, win, win. Ichigo vs. Byakuya, win. Ichigo vs. Aizen, loss. So, Rookie Ichigo Kurosaki, in a new world with new foes to battle against, went 7-1. That sounds like it's worthy of the Rookie of the Year award in my eyes. Absolutely stunning work from the young Rook. So, I hope you enjoyed that little video. Ichigo Kurosaki in Soul Society is one of the most effective, resilient, driven, and accomplished main characters in shonen history. The odds he was up against, and how he managed to pull it off, with help, of course, but still, it's great to see and I loved every second of it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and please do subscribe. When Bleach comes back, you'll be getting a ton of content from me. Anyway, that's all for today. Go watch some other videos on the channel now, alright? See ya.